this to make it available to others that weren't able to attend due to scheduling conflicts. So the first thing I would like you to do, if you're in the room, I think Larry's already done it. He was our guinea pig. But if you guys would open the chat and put your names and your email addresses in the chat, we're going to harvest that information and send you and sell it to a bunch of telemarketers or internet marketing people. So no, we're going to email you what we discuss. We're going to email you any links, documents, or anything like that we talk about through here that we're able to, and that aren't copyright protected. So, but that'll just allow us to follow up with everybody in this. I'm going to take just a moment and introduce a couple of people. Emma, if you'll turn your camera on, I just want to enter everybody so everybody knows who this Emma is that's in here. Emma is the one that did all the setting up of the calendar. She's the one that's been promoting it on Facebook and everything. She's going to be our moderator today, and basically she's going to be in the background just harvesting. When we talk about websites or links, she's going to be kind of gathering all that so we can put it in a document and email it to everybody. So, or if we have a question and we need to get back to you, she's gonna do her best to keep up. We may miss something. She may chime in and ask you to repeat something. So, and that's just all so we make sure that we're gathering that information. So, let's just kind of go around the virtual room here and if you would introduce yourself. We'll start with I'll just start with Larry, if you'll go first, and then just speak up. We'll just go one by one. Introduce yourself, what church and city you're at, and then I never want to assume that we're all full time. You know, I want to make sure if you're a lay person, let us know that. We want to celebrate it, and then maybe what your full-time job is outside of the church. So Larry, why don't you just start us off?
Yeah, I'm Larry Jones from Overland Park Baptist Temple in Overland Park, Kansas.
Okay, and Larry is the music director there at Overland Park. All right, Ernie, why don't you go next?
Sure. My name is Ernie Brown. I'm the music minister here at Heartland Baptist Church in Ames, Iowa. Got here in 2010. And we're enjoying ministry here. We had a high this past Sunday at 563, so we're doing pretty well. I'm full-time staff, and we have 5 or 6 other guys in different departments.
Good deal. Good deal. Real quick, I'm going to go back. Larry, how many years have you served in music ministry?
Well, this December 15th, it'll be 50 years.
50 years. Okay. Ernie, how many years have you served in music?
Probably here 12. Or a couple gaps, probably a total of somewhere around 15 to 20.
Okay. Okay. All right. And then David, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm David Beck. I'm at Bible Baptist Church in Wilmington, Ohio. I've been at this position for about 3.5 years. I was helping at other churches as a lay person, I guess you would say, off and on. But prior to starting at Bible Baptist, I was a public high school choir director for 29 years.
Oh, wow.
That's great. That's great. And then we have David and Jeremiah, I believe.
Yeah, I'm David Green. I'm one of the pastors here at Bible Baptist Church in Everett, Washington.
Great. I'm your pastor, Eric Sanders, right?
Yep.
Good deal. Good deal. And what about Jeremiah?
Sorry, I'm eating.
That's okay.
So I'm the missions intern here, but do a lot of work with the music. And I've been here 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. We've got a variety of experience, and my name is Micah Young. I'm the music director at Cherry Street Baptist Church in Springfield, Missouri. And I've been on staff here for 7 years, and I was previously at a church in West Texas near Amarillo for 10 years. So, anyway, let me kind of tell you guys what we are hoping to accomplish. I just want y'all to know we are all guinea pigs in this endeavor right now. We are one of the purposes of the Baptist Church Ministry Network, and one of the visions behind Pastor Frazier and Pastor Dennis Jennings and others that kind of led the way in starting this. One of the goals that we wanted to accomplish is to promote more collaboration, mentorship, things like that through the Baptist Church Ministry Network. And this is kind of one of the ways that we're trying to kind of jumpstart that a little bit. This is the first virtual meeting that we've done through the Baptist Church Ministry Network for something like this, for collaboration and just talking through ideas and things. So we may not get it all right this time, but that's okay. But we would just want to talk. I've got some talking points down and maybe a little bit of an agenda. But our primary focus today is to talk through our Christmas season. Now, I understand it's November 10th, and many of us are already well underway for maybe what we're doing for special music and choirs and things like that. But I want to talk a little. One of the areas I feel like sometimes I know me personally can get overlooked is the congregational singing during the Christmas worship, during our Christmas worship service. And it's, if you're like me, it's easy to plan for the big things, the musicals and the special music and things like that. And that sometimes we think, oh man, we got to learn new Christmas music. Well, I'm out of time to get it to anybody, so we'll just do what we did last year. So just go around the room. Let's just talk a little bit about what types of things you're planning for this Christmas season. Maybe you've got one day that you're focusing on Christmas and it's a big deal. You're doing a big Christmas production, or maybe you're breaking it up and doing something every week through December. Does anybody want to talk about what they're doing?
I'll start first.
Go ahead, David.
We have for just one major event for our Christmas season. Actually, let me back up. We've got two, one for the children, which I only touch on. I don't have a lot to do with that. That's on December 11th. They're already in preparation. I was talking to the person who's running that, and she said they're just about ready to start running everything on the stage, quote, stage for that.
Yeah.
Then we have an adult program for our choir and orchestra with a little bit of narration in between it. In the past, we've had some small special groups do that, but that's on December the 18th. And then on Christmas Sunday, we've got several special groups that are going to sing, but it's all in-house. Some of our own people singing to special songs. So that's about it.
That's good. That's good. All right. Ernie, what about you?
Well, we start out December 4th with a fairly normal Christmas music service. We'll be singing congregational Christmas hymns and things like that. But we're featuring our handbells and our hand chimes. And so we have a teen handbell group, an adult handbell group, and a children's children hand chimes group. So they'll all be playing at different times in the service, beginning, ending, middle, and they add a nice element to our service.
That's great. Yeah.
We do a living nativity outside our front doors and in our lobby and our foyer, and our cafe is busy. And above that, it's an open area, but we have a balcony kind of set up there. Anyway, the handbells are going to play that night again. And during that time, not all the time, but at different intervals. And all that happens on the 4th. On the 11th, our orchestra, for the first time, we're doing an orchestra Christmas Sunday. Normally, we do what we call Christmas celebration, where the choir and the orchestra are together. And we just kind of do some special things, add in some videos with scripture reading and different things. And this year we separated them. So the orchestra is doing their own thing. I have a young man named Chris Johnson, who is junior high school music teacher, great guy, takes the orchestra, so it's his baby. He's just running with that. We'll have a couple congregational songs that we'll sing, and we will put videos in between that again of teens and different people telling maybe a hymn story about one of the songs and folding that into it. That night is the children's Christmas play. My only responsibility for that is to lead a song in the very beginning and then go up to audio visual and direct the stations. We have 4 or 5 stations and spotlights that we'll have to manage. The 18th is, again, choir by itself this time. We are using Mike Speck has a new book out called Christmas Changes Everything. We're using the tracks, so our platform gets very crowded with orchestra and choir.
Yeah.
So I wrote a 4-scene script with 7 characters, and we wrap the play around those songs, and that is the morning at 8:30 and 11 we do it. And then that night is nothing. We got chili supper. And so
That's good.
Whoever we have left of our choir on the 25th will be an ensemble singing one of the songs from that book as well. But I appreciate Mike Speck and the stuff he writes.
Absolutely.
Some fun stuff.
We actually did that program last year, and it was phenomenal. And we'll be using some of it for the days leading up to our musicals this year. So it's really, really good program.
Yeah. Do you use Micah? Did you use the whole book and just the way he wrote it, or did you adapt it?
No, we did it. We did it pretty much the way that he had done it. So I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but I think we pretty much did it straightforward. There may have been 1 or 2 narrations that we cut down or cut out completely, but for the most part, we used it.
Tracks or orchestra?
Tracks.
Yeah.
We've got so many people in our orchestra that are in our choir.
Right.
And if I made that switch, I would have a revolt on my hands. So
we usually deal with the same thing.
Yeah. So good deal.
Okay,
Larry, tell us about what you're doing.
Well, we used to do a musical, and I've been here 13 years. For probably the first 9 or 10, we did a full musical. But we've adapted that. We started doing something every week, and the people really like it. And so we start out, we use video, we use skits, live skits, readers theater. We use, of course, the choir and just various special music. And it's worked well for us.
Good. So you spread it out amongst the weeks and
we sure do.
That's good. That's good.
Larry,
All right,
what is readers theater?
It's actually, you can get it online. It's actually just a dialogue type. We would call it narration maybe, but it's divided between anywhere from 2 to 4 people, and they read one. It's the way it's written. One person reads one section, the other comes in and reads a small area, and it could be 3 or 4 words, and the other hops in. So it works well. We have it one Sunday this year.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Now, Ernie, going back to your question, with ours, we did the narration. We split it between 2 people on that narrative, and we felt like that worked really, really well. So,
the narration, I thought the narrations were good, but we wanted to actually do a play.
Right? Yeah.
We just had to write the script for it to make it fit, and so we just kind of adapted it that way. But the songs are great.
Yes.
Great songs in that book.
Absolutely. David and Jeremiah, tell us about what you guys are planning on this year.
Cool. Yeah. So we have the way that we're kind of doing it this year is a little bit different than we have before. Normally we do something similar, a lot of choir specials or special music. Our Christmas Sunday, we don't really have a name for it, is December 11th. And so we have two choir specials that we're planning, and then 2 extra groups, one of those being like a children's choir that will open us up. And what our goal was to be very intentional congregationally, to have the congregation, whether that's through, we're going to sing more congregational songs this year than we have before. we're going to read more scripture together with the congregation, not just like a presentation type, but really wanted it to be kind of hand in hand, us with the congregation instead of them being onlookers, to kind of accomplish our purposes. We want the just here, we want the congregation involved and participating in the church. So we decided not to go too heavy on, too heavy, I guess. So we're doing four specials, but just have that take over the service. So that's what we've decided to change this year. But then we are doing several other things. We do a Christmas outreach each year, and so that this year that is the 3rd and 4th of December. And so we're going to be providing live music at that outreach. And so one thing that's helped us by focusing congregationally is given us more time to focus on providing music for that, or being able to go and carol at a nursing home or things like that, instead of being just so heavy on that one Sunday. Being able to diversify our reach a little bit. Our plan for this December.
That's good. I have noticed a trend, and we try to do something different each week. And yes, we still have a big musical that we promote. And in fact, all of our advertising type stuff that we do, it's just called Christmas at Cherry Street, and we lay out each week what's going on that week, what the focus is. I guess most of the time, the first Sunday of December, it's what we call kind of a soft open. It's not boom, Christmas is 3 days from now, So we'll probably do a couple of traditional carols in our worship, but we'll pick other non-seasonal songs that are appropriate that will go along with that. And then with Christmas falling on Sunday this year, and you guys know as well that adjusts your planning a lot in how you lay things out, because every year the Sunday before Christmas is what we call Christmas Sunday. Well, this year Christmas Sunday is Christmas Sunday for us. So it kind of, when it falls on Christmas, we take a little bit more of a low key approach. It's almost like we're inviting the family to come together, and it's a very low key service. We will pretty much just use piano and guitar, and just do some congregational singing, and then pastor will open the word, and then we have an invitation and just pray together and ask the Lord to bless our time. So we kind of bookend it. We have a soft opening, and if Christmas falls on Christmas on a Sunday, then we kind of treat that as the kind of closing of it as well. It's a very low key time. In the midst of that is a lot. I'm not telling anybody that doesn't already know that, but we still have our kids' Christmas program that's typically on a Sunday night. That's a dramatic musical that runs it's usually about a 30-minute program. So pastor will still usually give a brief message at the close of that. And then one Sunday, and this Sunday it'll fall on the 11th. We do more groups and solo emphasis. And then the following week is typically our adult Christmas musical that's very heavy choir oriented. So it sounds like same thing you guys do. You try to split things up where not every week is the same. You know what I mean? And I think there's wisdom with that. So now I have noticed at my previous church, we did a Christmas worship service. It was not anything that was musical or dramatically involved, but it was very heavy congregational singing, kind of what you guys up in Everett are talking about. And those can be very, very, very sweet, intimate times with your congregation. And I value, we haven't really found a way to make that kind of a service fit here yet. But those can be really, really, really good. Did I miss anybody? Did I leave anybody out on that? Okay, I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Well,
What does everybody do for Christmas Eve services? We have
Oh,
two different
okay.
Christmas Eve services. And they're 30 minutes. They're intentionally shorter.
Yes.
So we'll have one at 4:30 this year. Then we'll have one at 5:30, and in between, the cafe's open, has some drinks and stuff. And so people kind of flow in and out, but we have two. Is that kind of what everybody else does for Christmas Eve, or is it more involved?
No, we just do one for, it's about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, but we just do one.
We do one as well, and it's we end it with candlelight. We have candles that go around the sanctuary, and it's focused mainly on congregational and on the message from pastor.
Right. Right.
I forgot to mention something earlier. You'd said about I think someone mentioned a live nativity. The night that we have our big adult Christmas program for the choir and the orchestra, the children put on a live nativity outside, and we have hot cocoa and stuff like that.
That's good.
The big draw for that is
Live
our children's.
nativities, I have seen those be very effective at outreach. Very,
Yeah,
very effective. Yeah.
Our children's pastor a couple years ago, when everything was shut down in 2020, reached out to someone and found somebody who had camels to rent. So we have live camels, and he's kept that contact
in Ohio.
In Ohio.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, if you're
great.
willing to pay for them,
Yeah.
we did
Yeah.
something similar with our living nativity is actually drive-through.
Oh,
We have
really?
a large carport, and so they have a by the front doors, one section has live animals, and it's goats and whatever else that they get, and then the other side is the manger scene. But as you come down the driveway, there's stations. There's the Roman soldiers. You got to get past them. You got to approve to get in. And they, of course, they hand them something that tells them what's going on, and then they come up to the next station where I think it's supposed to be shepherds. It's the shepherds. And then they go through the manger, and then the wise men are on the other side. We have a circular driveway, a large circular driveway. And then people are invited to come in if they want to. And so inside is cocoa and cookies and all those kind of things. And the handbells this year will be playing. So it's outside. If you want to just drive through, that's all you can just do that. Or then you can park. And I think also we have a guy in our church who has a large wagon, and he brings that with his large horses and gives people rides around the property. So we have 22 acres, so we're pretty blessed that way.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Do you guys in Everett, you guys do you may have already answered this, I just forgot. Do you guys have a candlelight service or a
We
Christmas Eve
typically
service?
do. Yeah, we typically had one, but because of Christmas being on a Sunday this year, we decided not to do Christmas Eve service this year for that reason.
Yeah, and there are actually people that I've seen that do that. They have the Christmas Day service in lieu of the Christmas Eve. And that, I don't know about you guys, but the church that I was at previously in Texas, small town Texas, I mean, we were still a church of 200, but we could not get people to our Christmas Eve service to save our lives. But here it is probably the most well attended service out of the whole Christmas season. And I mean, our auditorium is packed for our Christmas Eve service. And it's a very simple thing too. We pastor has different people involved, from kids to adults. We'll have a scripture reading, and then we'll have a corresponding traditional. That this is the time where it is very traditional. We'll have a scripture, and then we'll sing a traditional carol song that corresponds with that. And I don't have a lot of hands in that. That's something that pastor's done for years, and he's a music guy, so he kind of just gives me the script and we put it together. That's kind of nice, if you ask my opinion, because it's one service I don't have to plan. So, but so that's kind of how we do it. Tell me a little bit. Now, I think I know the answer. Everybody here has mentioned that they have a choir. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And a choir is a big part of your service. What would some of you guys maybe that have been around a while and been in churches of different sizes, somebody that doesn't have a choir, how could they either make their Christmas services, what suggestions would you give to make their service a little bit more, a little better? What could they do each year, maybe to improve things, or if they were wanting to start a choir around Christmas? I've seen it happen before where Christmas can be a very good recruiting time to start one. But what suggestions would you have for somebody that maybe doesn't have a choir right now?
Do you mean to start a choir?
Not necessarily to start one. Maybe they don't have any plans to start one, but how could they get more people involved and make their Christmas services a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Not that you can't do it good without a choir. Y'all understand what I'm trying to say?
Sure.
More diverse. You want
More
diversity.
diverse, right. Does anybody have any ideas or suggestions?
Well, I guess we're assuming that they don't have a choir just because they haven't put one together. If they're using a praise band format, maybe
Mhm.
that's why they don't have a choir.
Right.
I've seen some have a praise band format and they have a choir and it's very successful. But sometimes the praise band format, they don't develop anything beyond that. And
Right.
so that if you're talking about that, and of course it's just a special event, I'd promote it like crazy going into
Yeah.
September. We're doing this one-time special thing. We need singers.
Yeah.
Our praise team does a great job every week, but we need you. If you want to participate, here's your opportunity. We're going to be starting on this date. Most of the time, people don't participate because they don't know about stuff and they don't know when things are happening. They don't know when practices are. They don't know what the point of it is. So you got to gear people up for that kind of thing.
Right. I know we had a smaller church, and it took a while to church in Texas to get a choir up and going, and that's kind of when we started the whole night of worship, and it was very heavily congregational involved, and we would ask people, that had singing ability to come and join, and that started out in a small ensemble. That was the beginnings of kind of our praise team, and that over time grew into a choir as we got more and more people. And over the course of 10 years, starting from zero, we had 30 plus.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
and it was people that enjoyed it too. So
Mhm.
let me ask another question here. What is, maybe, since I really want to talk about congregational music here, and outside of the traditional, which they've stood the test of time. It's songs that we sing every year. The congregation loves to sing them. Outside of your traditional "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," "Joy to the World," those kind of things, are there new songs? I would say within the last, there's even some new ones that were produced 10 years ago that are still good, that people are using today. Chris Tomlin's Emmanuel, Hallowed Manger Ground. That's a very good congregational song to sing. But what are you guys planning to sing that may be new this year congregationally?
Mm.
I think, oh, sorry. We like to use a lot of, one of our favorites is like "Come Behold the Wondrous Mystery" is a great song to use
Absolutely.
during Christmas time. So that's one of our favorites. That would be, I guess, a new Christmas song.
Yeah.
But our church loves to sing that one. The Gettys have several. One, "Joy Has Dawned upon the World," is also a great new song that we use too. But recently, Sovereign Grace has come out with several just very good Christmas songs that are very singable and are just rich. So we sing them with our choir, we sing with our
Yeah.
praise team, whatever. But some of those would be like, "Oh Come All You Unfaithful" is a great one. We're singing this year "He Who Is Mighty." There's several that Sovereign Grace has. And those are just some that we plan on using for a long
Good.
time. And we, back to your about choir, some people might be scared to participate in a choir because maybe you have this grand idea of choir singing all these really technical songs.
Uh-huh.
But back to like Sovereign Grace, those are very singable songs that you could use
Absolutely.
for an ensemble or a choir, I think, well, and it still be diverse for you to throw into your service.
Yeah, that's very good. You know as well as I do that not every song that is good that you enjoy listening to on the radio or that not all the time does that translate well to good congregational songs. Because absolutely we want to try to invite participation. It needs to be singable. And I'm right there with you. There's so many the Getty resources, Keith and Kristen Getty. Those are tremendous resources for Christmas time or really any time. But would you mind? Was that Jeremiah? Was that you that was talking, or was
Yes,
that
sir.
David? Okay.
Jeremiah.
Would you mind typing in the chat just in case Emma wasn't able to capture some of those things? Would you mind just typing some of those songs in the chat there? And she's typing now, so she may have been able to get it all from you. So let's see. Oh, we have a new person that joined, Sarah Jordan. Hi, Sarah. She's just there you go.
Hello.
It's good to have you with us. Where are you from, Sarah?
I'm from Mount Orb, Ohio, Bible Baptist Church.
In Mount Orb. And what's your pastor's name? I know it. I just can't remember.
It's my dad, Pastor Ted House.
Ted House, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Sarah, we're glad that you've joined us today. And we're just kind of collaborating about the Christmas congregational music and the Christmas season that's coming up. And I had just asked the question about if there's particular songs that are somewhat new that maybe they've started the last couple of years in singing, or maybe something new that they're starting this year. Does anybody else have anything to input there?
I find that the newer pieces, newer songs, I have the smaller groups or the ensemble special music singing. And this is probably just a holdover of my teaching career that I talked about beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
But in that career, I noticed that a lot of the kids didn't know Christmas carols and what we would call traditional Christmas carols. And so we focus a lot of our congregational songs on what would be traditional ones.
Right.
And people love singing them. I'm not saying the other ones are bad or anything, but I think it's for us, it works well to do those congregational songs during with the traditional styles.
Absolutely. You've got to have a good mix.
Yeah.
Of
Absolutely.
familiarity, where because if people no matter how familiar we think a new song may be, it's still going to have a certain percentage of our congregation that is unfamiliar with it. So
the deer in the headlights syndrome.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, but one of the ways that I've learned to help with that and to get things more familiar is if we can't just think about what's happening this year. Is there something that I can do this year to set up next year? And so a lot of times, the last couple of choir musicals that we've had, it has had a section of, and I think Christmas Changes Everything has got a section in there that is very congregational singing oriented. In fact, I think it's even written in there to prompt your congregation to stand and sing along. And it's a medley of traditional carols. Well, this year I'm already planning on taking that same medley that we did with the choir last year, and we're going to sing it congregationally this year. And yeah, I don't have an orchestration for it, but there are times where we have just taken the choir track and the choir sung songs enough that the congregational knows them, and we'll invite them to sing along with it, just with the track. And if I can get an orchestration with it, fine, or orchestra can play along with it. There is nothing out there that says you can't do that. Right. And it's a good way to learn new songs. And Larry, you look like you want to say something.
No, I was just going to say that sometimes old can be new.
Absolutely.
Because I took 2 years ago I took a young girl and I picked at the old song. You remember What Can I Give to the King?
Mhm.
You remember that one? And it
Mhm.
was written by the guy that wrote On the Eve of Destruction, you know. But I would took What Can I Give to the King, and I had her sing it, and then I had the congregation join her, and
Uh,
everybody said, "Oh, I love that new song." Well, it was an older song,
yeah,
and sometimes we neglect the things that are older to get to the most current. And sometimes I think you need to
absolutely.
mix those up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Another thing that I've done in the past is, again, setting up for maybe next year, is if there's a really good song, I will have an intimate setting just with a guitar and piano or bait, whatever the song might call for, and have a group sing it or a duet sing it. And if it, especially if it's got a real familiar chorus, I will not mandate, but strongly encourage that they invite the congregation to sing the chorus with them. And then that's kind of a seed for, introducing it as a congregational, congregational song the next year or following year. Um, Anybody else have any ideas?
Yeah, I have just a follow-up question. So I'm
Mhm.
with you, David. We don't want to throw like, every week of our 4 Sundays that we have in Christmas, like, bam, new song, bam,
Yeah.
new song. I'm right there with you. We try to do maybe just one, each Christmas, that we'll do congregationally. What do you guys find with like it seems like Christmas gets faster and faster, the amount of time that you have each year. And
Mm.
I'm pretty young, so I don't know, maybe that's just me.
That only gets
But
worse as you age. I'm just telling you.
yeah, but it seems like even like one of y'all said, pulling out some of those older songs, which I think is great. It seems like we run out of repertoire. Sometimes it feels like you want to sing the same thing over again because you're reaching. You're like, oh no, because we sing quite a bit Sunday morning, then we have a Sunday evening service. We sing quite a bit Sunday evening. So if you're doing, 8 songs a day for 4 Sundays, that's 30, 30 something Christmas songs. And what do you find to do with either your repertoire or like how to combat maybe singing "O Come All Ye Faithful" like 4 times, in the Christmas singing or things like that? What are some things you think through for that?
Well, Jeremiah, one of the things that we do, and of course I have, and working, my pastor is a music guy. He's a music guy for a long time before he became a pastor. And that is one of the main reasons why we have that first Sunday. We call it a soft Christmas day, is for that very reason. We don't want to get to the end and have sung that same song every week, Um, so we'll but there are other songs like Jesus Messiah, Name Above All Names, that mentions Emmanuel in there. So we'll use that one typically around Christmas time, and I'll bring it in, and you can make it a Christmas song. There's Paul Beloche also has offering. I bring an offering of worship to my King.
Mhm.
There's a Christmas version of that, and he just changes one verse, and it makes it more Christmas oriented. So you could introduce that song in the traditional way, and then bring it in where it has that different Christmas verse later in the month. So does anybody else have any ideas?
There are current choruses. I found a couple on the online that you can take some of the old choruses, like, well, let's say, "How Great Is Our God." There are Christmas lyrics to that.
Yeah.
So you take a familiar tune and add Christmas lyrics to it, and people like that. Number one, they can sing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, it's fresh as far as the lyrics go.
Yeah. Sure. Do you have
Well-
any more with your wealth of wisdom and experience?
Well, wisdom.
Is there any other songs, or is that something that you could put a list together of maybe that's out there, and we could get that to people of what you maybe have used? Because I honestly didn't know that there was a Christmas version of How Great Is Our
Yeah,
God.
yeah, and there's another one of your name. Your
Yes.
name. It's got Christmas lyrics too, and you can find those right online.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay. You don't have to learn a new song. You just got to get new lyrics to your media guide.
Right. Yeah. But it's an easy way to do it where people think they're singing something fresh.
Yeah, that's good. Those are great ideas. Does that help you,
Yeah.
Jeremiah?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Absolutely. David?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know if it was me, David, or Jeremiah's
you,
David,
David.
but that's okay. Watch it, guys. But the whole thing with Jeremiah brought up about the number of songs and exhausting the repertoire. I totally get that. But that sparked something in me. You said you have about 8 songs per service. We use about 3 congregational songs per service. We have 3 congregationals, a choir special, sometimes an orchestra special, and then special music. That's not counting the invitation where we usually have the congregation sing along with us too. So we don't have that. I don't know what the right word is, the right verb, but we don't exhaust it quite as quickly because of that.
Yeah. If you're looking for other song ideas, one of the resources in the document we're going to email you after this. If you're looking for ideas, most of you should have a CCLI membership. I know if you're reporting your lyrics, you're paying for a CCLI Song Select membership of some kind. They've got a constantly on their website, and you may have seen it, they've got their top 100. Sometimes that's a really good place for me to start, and that can fluctuate based on season because it's based on how much of their stuff is being downloaded. So that's a good resource. Get Spotify. I'll just put in a Christmas playlist, and I'll have my phone on while I'm working on the car on my day off, and I'll just listen. And sometimes this goes back to April, March, June, and I'll start listening to Christmas playlists, and something may spark in my mind, that, hey, that could be a great congregational song. And I'll just take my Samsung notes out on my phone, and I'll just keep track of that. And it's something that I pull out come July when I'm getting ready to start organizing everything and take another look at it. Another way, if you're a member and you are purchasing any of your stuff through Lifeway Worship, they have got a really good way to filter your search results by newest. And sometimes that's a good way to go in and just get new ideas, get fresh ideas. Anything, for the most part, from Getty Music, most of the time it's singable. They pride themselves on congregational hymn style worship.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be singable. It's going to have lyrical depth. It's going to check a lot of the boxes that we look for good congregational music. So that'll be in a list that we email you just for ideas on how to get more creative. But there's another tool that you got that we all have access to, and that's our people. And recruit some help and talk to some of your people throughout the year. Hey, could you pull up Christmas playlists and just listen to it and send me ideas, of what maybe a good song for an ensemble to sing or for us to sing as a congregation. That has been a tremendous resource for me, and it multiplies my time. And I think you guys all like it when your time gets multiplied. Sometimes I see people wasting their time and like, can you give me some of yours? Because I need it. But what are some of the other ways that y'all come up with ideas?
I watch other churches' live streams, go back and look through some of their Christmas programs or, services during the Christmas season. That always gives me a good idea because they must obviously think it's singable if they're, singing it with the congregation. So that probably means that I can do it. We can do it here.
Yeah.
Choir, most of the time the churches I'm watching aren't like Brooklyn Tab, you know, who are going to do this
Yeah.
awesome like
Yeah.
choir piece that we probably couldn't do.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be pretty doable for our choir special music. That's one of the ways that I find that helps me, because they've tried it for me and they can kind of know before I have to try it or we have to try it, and
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, that didn't go over too well. You know?
You can see them flop and save you the hassle, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's always good. Well, that leads me to one more question, and we really wanted to try to keep this right at an hour at the most. So I want to ask you, what mistakes have you made in the past? And you made a note that you'll either never do that again, or you will do it differently. So anyway, I know that's kind of a broad, open-ended thing, but what have you in your past? What have you seen that hasn't worked for you?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're going to keep it less than an hour, I could fill that up. You know, I think everything in the ministry is, and especially music, is trial and error. In the church I was for 16 years before I came here, we tried everything at Christmas, and then we started with musicals, and we started writing some of our own stuff. Before you know it, we noticed that there was standing room in the church only, and so then we went, and the church was growing, and before it was all over, I about killed my choir, honestly. And you can do that with your people, because we had a 2-hour Christmas musical, secular, and the Christmas story, full orchestra. We had a lot, you know, the whole bit. It was about 2 hours, and after about several years, your choir starts saying, "Oh no, not again," and they memorized everything. And so you've got to just be careful.
Yeah.
That there's times when if you're not careful, you let your ambitions get before your people, and you don't want to do that. And I think that's one of the mistakes I made, probably 20 years ago, is that I saw this. I had a team of people that working with me, and they had the vision of it. We got carried away with it, and by the time about the fifth, sixth year, my drama director and my musical director came in, and they said, "We've had it. We can't do it anymore." And I realized, hey, Larry, you pushed too hard. And so we've backed off and let people enjoy Christmas as well. You can get them so busy they don't enjoy the season. If they don't
that's
enjoy
very
the
true.
birth of Christ, man, you've missed the whole thing.
Very true. Very true. Anybody else? Well, let me kind of tell you
this.
Sorry, go ahead, Larry.
You don't have to follow the trends of everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, you got to look at your church's DNA. Where did my church come
Absolutely.
from? Where are we going? What is our objective? And if you're not careful, you lose the DNA. You want to be like Joe Blow down the street, and by doing that, you've lost your church's identity. Sometimes you've lost your own identity, your own creativity, and you've hampered the work of God rather than helping it.
That's really good. That's really good, Larry. Every church has a unique makeup, and you guys know as well as I do, there may be a time where you're not at that church and you may be at another church, and what you do at one church may not work at another church, and you've got to be sensitive to that. Now, yeah, and I would completely agree with that, Larry. One of the things that we do that I feel like has been truly a blessing, the last Sunday night before Christmas. So this year it's on the 18th. That evening is what we call our Christmas spectacular. Now, by that point, we have done all of our big musical stuff that we're going to do by that point. And it is our exhale service. It is kind of just our people. Christmas is right around the corner. And for lack of a better term, it's our variety show. Okay. Now it does take a lot of work setting up, but it's an area where people outside the music ministry can participate in these things. Sometimes we've even brought in a special music group to do different things throughout. We did that last year, to do different things throughout the night. But I'm going to kind of date myself here, but it's a cross between the Carol Burnett show, Roland Martin's Laugh In. It's just, we do a lot of skits, a lot of fun things, a lot of funny things that involve everything from our kids all the way up to our senior adults. And it is just a very relaxing, it's just a laughable time. And our people look forward to it every year. We've brought in different things from a dog ventriloquist, that would do ventriloquism through his dog. We've done comedy acts, we've done musical guests, but then there's an element of it that's our people doing the skits and doing the different things involved with that. And that has been a lot of fun. Now you're definitely going to want to make sure you've got the backing of your pastor for something like that. But it has just been, and we have found, like what Larry said, it is the one service that doesn't put a lot of demand on our people. And it's just kind of our exhale, and it's just a good time together. Have y'all done anything like that in the past, or? No.
We did that. We did that one year.
Uh-huh.
But our December Sunday nights, except for the children's play, don't happen in the sanctuary.
Yeah, gotcha.
So the Living Nativity outside, and
Yeah.
and on the 11th this year is a Christmas play. The 18th we go downstairs and we have a Christmas dinner together.
Yeah.
And we don't even have much of anything that we do on Sunday evenings. But one year we did do that variety show kind of fun thing that our people were involved in, and it is
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Yeah,
It's a
if you
lot
have
of
those
fun.
nights.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this year it's just a weird thing because December 25th
How it
falling on
falls.
Sunday
Yeah.
kind of makes everything else kind of flow into a certain way. So we don't have a lot of Sunday night stuff.
Absolutely.
Moving back to the other thing about new Christmas songs, probably a few years ago we started to try to institute some new stuff, and we'll include them in with an ensemble. They'll sing along with us at some
Mhm.
point. But our people want to sing. We're in a very traditional area.
Right.
They want to sing all the traditional Christmas hymns.
Mhm.
And so we will try to do our very best to sing just about everything we can out of our hymnal when we get the chance.
Yeah.
So we don't end up doing a whole lot of new stuff because, quite frankly, they want to sing the traditional stuff that hits with them where they've heard all their lives.
Absolutely. And I think that what's so funny about that is, and I don't think it's funny, but that is the one time, if we didn't do anything else, if we didn't do anything new and we did all traditional carols, everybody would be happy with it for the most part. But one of the things that to help stretch those is to add some new ones occasionally, if you can. But and again, it comes down to your church's DNA. I really think if you try to do some newer things and it just flops and you don't get the buy-in, what you don't want to do is trade off the new for participation.
Sure.
Because that's what congregational worship is all about, is inviting participation.
Right.
I like what you
People
said.
They only have one Sunday at Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, well, a month, I'm sorry, 1 month at Christmas. And they've been so entrenched, like Ernie said, with the tradition.
Yeah.
And the song they sang when they were children.
Yep.
And even the younger ones like that.
Yeah.
You just got to try to have a touch of everything if you can.
Absolutely. And make your Wednesday night, if y'all have a combined Wednesday night service, our Wednesday nights through December are very much the songs that we sing most of the rest of the year. We kind of, or we do run the danger of wearing out the welcome on the songs by the time you get to Christmas Sunday.
On those Wednesday nights, I have done less known carols.
That's good. That's good.
I agree.
Yeah.
We've always gravitate to the ones that are well known, but there's a lot of them.
The unknown. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
David, you were going to say
I was
something.
I was just going to say, I like what you had said earlier, Mike. I think it was you that said, plan ahead. Like this year, you're thinking about what am I going to do next year?
Right.
One
Yeah.
of the things that we do for introducing some of the new songs, whether it's Christmas time or any other time, is we have a loop, playlist that plays before service and after service,
Mhm.
and I'll throw in a song that's going to be a new congregational song 3 or 4 months
Same,
ahead
yep.
of time. And
That's
so
a great idea.
they get
Yep.
to learning it before they even realize it's like, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
know this song. I didn't realize I knew it.
And one of the things we've done in the past is we've created a Spotify playlist and we've shared it with our people as well. So you got to be some of that stuff. I'm still leery because you're walking a fine line with some copyright stuff, but we have used that in the past. Were you going to say something, Jeremiah?
No, I guess I do have a question though.
Okay.
That whole copyright thing is yeah, it's a fine line too.
Yeah.
But about introducing new things, like what Larry said, like we only have a month. So like some ways we introduce new songs throughout the rest of the year is maybe our choir sings it, and
Mhm.
then the next Sunday we come back. Christmas, it seems like if we do the first Sunday, choir sings it. Next Sunday, they're not really familiar with it, so they're just kind of piddling along with the song. By the time they learn it, it's over. They don't get to sing it. So, what are some ways? What we've done here is like a music video, and we send it out before
Mhm.
Christmas, and
Mhm.
they can do it.
Hmm.
What are some other ways that you've found are useful besides those Spotify playlists or things?
Well, what I've learned is I've got a lot of flexibility on Sunday nights. Um, it's what we call our family service. It's the one time of the week that all the family gets to sit together. Youth isn't split up, children aren't in junior church, but and I'll just explain, hey, we're going to learn this new song in preparation for Christmas, and we'll sing it on a Sunday night, a couple of Sunday nights leading up to, and we do the same thing at missions conference. If we've got a specific mission song, we'll sing it 3 weeks in a row leading up to that first Sunday morning, and we've done it enough where people know, okay, the point of the reason we sung this one last week and we're singing it again this week is because we're learning it. Your people, most of the time, your people understand that,
Yeah.
and especially if it's just a small portion of, a Sunday night, and but again, you've got to. It comes down to your church's DNA, how your people respond. Hey, this is the third week in a row we've sung this one song, and then we're going to sing it every Sunday during Christmas. So by the time our missions conference, because we sing that theme song every single service, so I won't use it again until probably the following spring.
Sure.
But Christmas is a time, I think, too, that we I don't want to say the term push the envelope, but you may get away with singing an early Christmas song if you're trying to prepare something for a Sunday morning. So,
Sure.
and if you're like me, I don't like doing anything new, brand new on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I just don't like doing that. Not that we haven't. I just prefer not to.
Yeah.
So, before we wrap up, and again, I just want to make sure that we keep this within a reasonable amount of time. We talked a little bit about collaboration and mentorship. I hope that, through this, that we can gain some things where we reach out and talk a little bit more throughout the year, and not just at these particular things, but we are going to be doing these more often. The next one we promote may not be for music guys, but we can do a couple of music ones throughout the year. But with that, to get notified and to get be aware of all these BCMN things that are going on. I just wanted to talk about membership a little bit. If you're not a member of the Baptist Church Ministry Network, being a member gives you access to, if you need to look up Ernie's phone number and get an idea how to reach out and get in contact with Ernie. If you're a member, our database on the BCMN website has got that contact information for Ernie. It's got what Ernie is willing to mentor people in or come alongside what he may have a specialty in and things like that. So that is the membership is a very beneficial thing on that side of it. So, but collaboration and mentorship, that's one of the biggest things why the Baptist Church Ministry Network was started, for things like this, where we can help each other and come up with ideas, and maybe we're struggling through an area and we don't know, we're kind of stuck, you know, then you can reach out and talk to somebody with that. Emma, hello. If you haven't met Emma, this is Emma.
Hi, sorry, I didn't know my camera came back on.
It's okay.
That's funny.
But do you guys have anything else? We'll follow up. I'll send you guys an email with some resources that we talked about, and maybe even some things we didn't even get to. Does anybody
Micah,
have
thank
any?
you for doing this.
Absolutely,
for
Larry.
doing
I appreciate
Yep,
your
thank you.
input in the leading up.
Yes.
Ernie, appreciate your input as well. And guys up in the far northwest, you guys, it's just past your lunchtime there, so
Yeah, we
you
really
guys still have a
appreciate.
few more hours of work left, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate it. I hope to see you guys at another event, and we'll send some follow-up stuff out to you within the next day. Okay?
Thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
this.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Y'all take care.
God bless.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.